High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Thank you for joining us from Manhasset High School for a battle between two national powers. It's the undefeated top-ranked team in the country, the St. Anthony Friars at 14-0, taking on the Manhasset Indians at 94. Good evening here from Manhasset High School. I'm Gavin Shaw alongside my partner, Robin Rooney, the former head coach at Wantagh, former player at UConn. Robin, this game every single year is a movie. Two of the best programs in the country, private versus public. It's always a lot of fun when Manhasset and St. Anthony's clash on the field.
I mean, yeah, you've got two of the best teams in the nation every single year. They're perennial powerhouses. It's exciting to watch them play. It's like watching college lacrosse, and every elementary school, middle school kid in the country should be at this game right now, or not the country, but Long Island, should be at this game right now to really learn from some of the best at their level.
And if not tuning in on Varsity Media, you're telling me before the game, the refs have to be really fast for this one, right? You need some track guys.
I mean, I was glad to see that the refs that are on this game, because they can keep up with the game, because there's times where you're just like, they've got to keep up. The tempo so fast, the skill is so incredible, and these kids are absolute athletes, so the refs need to be able to keep up with the tempo of the game. All
right, so let's take a look at some of our impact players. We'll start off with the St. Anthony's Friars, and here's the thing. When you have a program like St. Anthony's, you're leaving off a top 20 player in the country doing this, but we have two of them here. Tess Calabria, committed to North Carolina. She's a 5-star, a member of the under-18 Team USA. And then Amanda Pacey, the defending Catholic Player of the Year. What makes these two so special?
You watch Tess Calabria play against that Sacred Heart game. I think she had a play in every point they scored. She's lethal. She will find a way to make a way to get a goal, to get an assist, to get to the crease. You really have to play her as if she's going to get her points, and you've got to shut everyone else down, which is not an easy task for St. Anthony's.
And Amanda Pacey on the other end of that Tobacco Road rivalry. She's headed to Duke. I remember hearing about her since her sophomore year, and you would just hear just always the best athlete on the field. Her head coach, Darcy Messina, said, look, she could be a cornerback for the Jets if she wants it. She's that good, that athletic, that special.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be matched up in college, and I can't wait to watch that, because it's probably going to be Pacey on Calabria, UNC Duke.
And let's take a look at the starting lineup here for St. Anthony's. We told you about Tess Calabria. She's joined on attack by Brooke Long, Catherine Rathjen, Emma Speed, and then in the midfield, Meg Kenny, also a 5-star North Carolina commit. Jen Binkus, she takes the draw controls. Molly Heine, she wears number 28, and then Amanda Pacey, Maddie Morris, Riley Zusi heading to Florida. Julia May O'Connor, she's had a dynamic year in terms of her ability to take the ball away. And then we have to talk about Lexi Zank, yet another North Carolina committed. I misspoke before. Meg Kenny, she was committed to North Carolina, now heading to Maryland. Lexi Zank, she's going to North Carolina for sure. 16th ranked recruit in the country, 3rd ranked goalie in the class of 2024. The stories you hear about her almost sound apocryphal. She is just a unique talent.
Oh, yeah, she's incredible. We've played against her when I was coaching at Wantagh, and it's like, okay, you have to fake and fake and fake and fake and fake, and then maybe shoot. It's you can't come at her at the same level. You can't come at her at the same speed. You have to be ready to shoot around her, because she takes up a lot of the net with her speed and how quick she is with her footwork and her hands, and she's not an easy target.
Yes, I remember talking to St. Anthony's coaching staff a year ago, and she said she would hear from attackers on the team. They said, we feel like we don't have any talent when we shoot on Lexi Zank. That's how good she is. And as we take a look at Darcy Messina in her first year as head coach, a St. Anthony's graduate back in 2012, University of Florida talent, graduating 2016, a 2-time All-American back in high school. What does she bring to this St. Anthony's program?
A fresh look. Summer did a great job with this program. Obviously, they won every year. They were definitely a powerhouse every year, but I think sometimes it takes a refresh to the program to bring them to the next level, and that's exactly what she did.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about the Manhasset Indians and take a look at the two impact stars for the home teams. Manhasset, unfortunately, hit with a rash of injuries in the last couple of weeks, losing Mia Lapinto, losing Taylor Gordon. The star that's still here, still available, is Shea Panzik, and she is in the midst of a career year.
Yeah, Panzik's great. She's so quick. She's so slippery. She finds a way. She reminds me a lot of a Calabria, but they, obviously different skill set. But I do think that Panzik can be a game changer if she gets going hot early.
Vanderbilt commit, talented couple of brothers who played on the Manhasset boys team. And then defensively for Manhasset, we got the news late. No Maddie Chun today, so it's Alexia Giannakopoulos leading the way. What is the Virginia commit going to have to do to slow down Tess Calabria and company today?
She's going to have to be a Giannakopoulos. There's a reason why all of them are playing at the next level. They're incredible athletes. She's going to have to really take away her feeds, take away her stick. She doesn't go lefty very often, but she uses the left side quite often, so she's going to have to be able to shut that down.
All right, so let's take a look at this revamped Manhasset starting lineup with those multiple injuries and illnesses. Shea Panzik, Cassidy Harley, Alim Yang filling in on attack as just a sophomore, along with Grayson Denahan. So those are two new names who are going to be forged by fire today against this St. Anthony's team. Nicole Giannakopoulos, the other sister, she has stepped up offensively with 25 points this year. Holly Newman, man, she's been clutch for the last 3 years running. Lauren Perfetto, Ava St. Gino's filling in that starting lineup. Alexia Giannakopoulos, Lana Schlafer, Sophia Mineroff rounding out the defense, and then Hannah Rubin in a battle all year long with Ruby Cassiopo for that starting goalie position. She's won the job, and the senior heading to Bowden, some big shoes to fill. She's going to be excellent.
Yeah, I mean, they're not short on goalies here at Manhasset, so it should be definitely a great game.
All right, so we will step aside and be back in just a sec with our keys to the game. It's St. Anthony's Manhasset, one of the best days of the year in girls lacrosse on Long Island, next on Varsity Media.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Zadaro. Illico ties it up. Move by Tieso steps up and score. A jump shot for Nell. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's got a great national anthem from the sister of Manhasset star, Taylor Gordon.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Unfortunately, Taylor will not be on the field today. She's one of my favorite kids to watch play in Long Island, so shame that she went down with that injury, but hoping she's a quick recovery.
Yeah, torn ACLs for her, and senior star Mia Lapinto is heading to play her college lacrosse at USC. Taylor Gordon, I mean, you were telling me pregame going to be one of the best players in the country in that 2026 class, so two big losses for Manhasset. We're going to show our keys to the game today, but I mean, I think nothing looms larger than how they replace those two, and I mean, you've been in this situation before, unfortunately. Yes. Coaching Wantagh, even really going down late in the year. I mean, how do you adjust to that as a coach?
I think you need to remember it's a team sport, not an individual sport, and somebody has to step up and fill that role, and it doesn't have to be a star. They can be the role player that gets the ball to Panzik, gets the ball to Perfetto on the offensive end, and lets those girls play.
Well, we were lucky enough to get some keys to the game from Manhasset head coach Jackie Williams. She said focus on controlling the draw, obviously possession. You always hear possession 9/10 of the law, possession 9/10 of the game often, and that's a way to keep this potent St. Anthony's attack a little bit off guard.
Yeah, I mean, if the ball's in your stick, it's not in theirs, right? So it's the only way to kind of stop this team is not let them have the ball in their possession.
All right, she also said focus on not getting silly penalties that will put us in man-down situations. Obviously, St. Anthony's so deadly. When you give them that advantage, make life tough on Tess Calabria and Meg Kenny. Easier said than done, but you were talking about it a little. I mean, what is the philosophy to really trying to, you're not going to shut down, but slow down those two?
I think you just have to be stick on stick. You know, a lot of defenders, they play the body and they kind of leave that stick an inch open, and an inch open for Calabria and Kenny is a goal. So you got to really be careful there to match up sticks. You know, in a man down situation, Jackie Williams, bright girl out there, you know that she's a great coach. She was a great player to Delphi. She knows that when they played Garden City in the Woodstick, Garden City, of course, scored 3 goals against them. That was a game.
Yeah.
That was it. That penalty that was, I think it was on Panzik, that let Garden City run away with the game, and Manhasset was playing catch up. And they can't let that happen against St. Anthony's.
And for St. Anthony's, I mean, something I was thinking about pregame is just not giving Manhasset belief in this game, because there's still obviously immense talent on this Manhasset side, but maybe not that same confidence just because it's a lot of girls now who haven't done it before against a team like St. Anthony's. But it feels like if they can maybe survive that first punch, stay in it in the second half, they could have a chance late.
Yeah, they've got to go punch for punch earlier. They're going to be, you know, it's going to be a blow to them. So they've got to be careful to keep this game close.
So we'll have the opening face-off. It's Jenna Binkis in there. She's been excellent on the opening draw control. She's been excellent there all year, dealing with Lena Schlafer here, a senior heading to Hamilton.
Maybe St. Anthony's early on.
So we'll see St. Anthony's get going with Jenna Binkis. Potent offense. They have only been kept under double figures twice all season. The first time against Darien in a triple overtime battle against that Connecticut powerhouse. Eventually a 5-4 St. Anthony's win helped them secure the spot they are now, which is the #1 team in America in the USA Today lacrosse poll. Looking to maintain that today against Manhasset. Quick pass, quick shot fake put on by Meg Kenny, one of the fastest players in the county, and an early stop for Hannah Rubin. And now Manhasset's going to have to get past this potent ride.
It looks like Manhasset's playing a zone with a face guard on Calabria, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Almost the lacrosse equivalent of a box and one in basketball.
Yes, exactly, a box and one. Go Knicks.
Yeah, I can only relate things to basketball. I apologize preemptively, Rob.
It's one of the reasons why I was as good at lacrosse as I was because I was a basketball player first, so I get it.
Go. I remember that with Caitlin Barrett at Manhasset last year. So good in both sports. And they,
exactly. Maddie Taylor, too.
Yeah, there you go.
With COVID, I had her send highlights of her basketball season to coaches, and that's kind of, she was already being recruited, but that definitely helped.
How dominant was she? I got to imagine.
God,
she's pretty awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, your former protege now, we were talking about it, pre-game candidate for the best player in the country.
Yeah,
only a sophomore.
Tuarton finalist as a sophomore. The first Tuarton finalist is an underclassman since Kayla Traynor and Taylor Cummings, so it's a big deal. Another Long Island great.
So every time someone makes a good play on the field, Tim's could be like, how does that compare to Maddie Taylor?
Well, that was Ava St. Juno's, who's starting in her first game for Manhasset with Maddie Chun out. She just ran the ball up with a great clear for Manhasset, really using her speed there.
And that's what's awesome about this. I mean, we were talking about it pregame, but for both these players, you see literally Division I players get cut from the team every year. Yep. So someone goes down, someone really talented is going to step up and be in their places.
Exactly.
An early turnover here for Manhasset. Cassidy Harley, the Wake Forest commit, pressured, losing the ball, and now you see the speed in transition. Here comes Maddie Morris leading the break, cranking the shot or getting ready to, instead dumping it off. Now the extra pass, stepping in, tickling the twine, and an opening goal from Catherine Rathjen, her 9th on the season.
Emma Speed with the assist on that. That's just great ball movement there by St. Anthony. It's like you said, you thought she was going to rip it. Nice fake. Hit Emma Speed behind with a quick pass to the middle. Just the speed there. In transition, she gets the ball behind without even having to blink an eye. There's another cutter coming down. Emma Speed hits her and goal.
And it was Riley Zusi on that initial push, not Maddie Morris. Riley Zusi, her entire career, an offensive player, an offensive midi for St. Anthony's. They asked her to move to defense this year just because they were so loaded in that front seven, and she was willing to do it, and she has turned into an absolute lockdown defender heading to play for the University of Florida, and she'll give a lot of options to that coaching staff.
I will say that's exactly what Manhasset does not want. You have Panzik with the ball down low. She gets a turnover. That's fine. Turnovers happen. But St. Anthony's came hot and with speed, and Manhasset just could not recover.
It's another draw control victory for Jenna Binkis and
Did you see again?
St. Anthony's. And I was going to say Catherine Rathjen on that goal. She scored 5 goals in a Winter League game against Manhasset, so she's certainly used to doing some damage against this Manhasset program. And here comes Brooke Long, 23 goals, 23 assists on the year. She has special vision as a distributor.
I'd like to see how they get Calabria involved here. She's got that face guard with Giancopoulos on her, definitely the best defender for Manhasset. So curious to see how they work to get her open later on, if they need her.
No, it's a great call. And sometimes, and maybe this is why they went zone, you lose someone like Maddie Chun. It's not always, all right, who's going to handle Tess Calabria? Maybe that's the question right now, is Calabria dodges to the cage, should have a free position here, but it's kind of the cascade effect. All right, now who's guarding the second best player, who's guarding the third best player, and it's just a slightly worse defender on each girl.
And the thing is, Calabria is as good as a vision, as a feeder, she is as a goal scorer, so you got to be careful once you take her out, so to say. She's got other teammates open.
Tess Calabria battling inside, whipping a shot cross body, and it's 2-0 St. Anthony's.
Manhasset has to close with their bodies there. She made a great pump fake. I thought she shot it, to be honest, and then she just drove right down the alley with her right hand, lowered it, got that shot off. If Manhasset closes with their body, see, watch, she gets a good start here, but the Manhasset defender gets in quickly. She's able to get around her, drops her stick. Manhasset's got to be looking to hit that stick when it drops, otherwise she's going to have a game.
And that's something you've seen from Tess Calabria. I mean, even when she was a sophomore, that ability in close proximity to somehow fit 6 different ball fakes into one move.
She's quick, and it's almost like, as much as you know how fast she is, it's deceptive.
Yeah.
It still comes off as you think you have her, and then you don't. All of a sudden, she's slippery and in goal. Good draw control by Giancopoulos there.
Really crucial. Manhasset needing to get on track here, not wanting this game to get away from them quickly. Giancopoulos, extra pass, and Lexi Zank smothering it up on the shot that time from Alexia Giancopoulos.
I think that was number 22 who shot that. She just definitely was not ready for that feed from Nicole coming so fast down the field.
Yeah, you got it. I'm having a little trouble with these Manhasset numbers, really small, but it was...
Fortunately for me, I know them.
Nailed it.
I know the girls, so...
It was Lim Yang, who's one of those new starters, 6 goals, but again, has essentially only played 4 or 5 games, so really impressive production. She had a hat trick last time out against Sacred Heart, and there's a low shot, and Manhasset is on the board. Cassidy Harley, the Wake Forest commit, makes it 2-1.
And that was a great feed from Kanzik. She gets the ball behind and she gets immediately closed on. That's got to be St. Anthony's goal to shut her out as much as possible. She gets the ball behind and her eyes are open. Immediately gives that ball back to who scored it? Cassidy Harley. An absolutely great shot, nice and low. She came in high, shot low. Zank had no shot at it.
And again, it's a testament to Manhasset's depth as a public school that you have 2 ACL injuries, and you're saying, all right, who's going to step up and be our second option? Oh, we got a Wake Forest commit here.
Yeah, exactly. Not too bad.
Harley, yeah. Feels like another crucial draw control. Manhasset, an opportunity to tie. St. Anthony's a chance to extend their advantage. Schlafer against Binkish. Schlafer stepping up high. Binkish able to just bat it away.
It's Nicole Giancopoulos with draw.
So Manhasset settling in here, and we talked early about just surviving that initial punch. They're doing a pretty nice job of it right now. Have to get away from this ride, though.
Yeah, they got to switch the field. That's a great job getting the ball back. It's almost like, it looks like St. Anthony's has more players on the field. It looks like it. That ride is so intimidating. It looks like they've got 6 extra girls on that between the 30s.
They're always double teaming, yet no one's out of position.
Yeah,
right?
and nobody's open.
You beat the double team, and it's like, all right, now I'm just playing a normal defense.
Right.
Because
now I'm just playing a normal Duke commit.
Yeah.
Once again, that's Avacine Ginos with a great job on that clear. She got the ball up to Alexia Giancopoulos.
And Robin, you had Manhasset in that Woodstick game. I mean, what's kind of been the difference this year? Got a big win over Cold Spring Harbor in their 4th game of the season. Since then, have just kind of struggled in these games against elite competitions. That one is cranked off the post.
I think they've just had injuries. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new team. They had to, they have to adjust to not having Lapinto back there. They've got to adjust to not having Gordon in the middle. When you have 2 of your best players go down mid-season like that, it's hard to adjust because you have 1 or 2 practices before you play a game. Half that time's watching film, half that time's practicing your own stuff, and then you've got a sliver of time to game against another team. And It's not easy with your two best players out, two of your best out.
Flag went up. They gave continuation to Harley there. So now another chance at dunk in on the cage to tie it up by Shea Panzik.
The women's game has changed so much, and I absolutely love that from Panzik. The ball went out of bounds off Newman. Panzik picks it up and just starts going. St. Anthony's not ready for her, and that's where she's most dangerous. She's so slippery. She's so quick. She gets in there. Newman passes it behind or shoots it behind. Panzik immediately just picks it up, turns it up, and goes to goal. Nobody's on her. That's as open as she's going to be all game. St. Anthony's really dropped the ball on that defensively, not being on her behind.
There is typically an intimidation factor when you play St. Anthony's and Manhasset, and maybe because they're all these girls are playing travel against each other. They never seem to come into this game with that fear factor. They're ready, they're geared up to go, and they kind of relish the opportunity to be like, all right, we get to play essentially an all-star team. Let's go do it with all these girls we grew up together with.
Listen, both these teams are all-star teams. People move to Manhasset to play lacrosse at Manhasset. It's one of the reasons why they come to Manhasset, why they raise a family here is to play lacrosse. So they're not scared of anyone, nor should they be.
So Lena Schlafer stepping up on that draw control. 5'9", long wingspan, giving Jenna Binkus a little bit of trouble the last two times around. Now Lauren Perfetto, an opportunity. She's a senior heading to Loyola.
Yeah, Perfetto's a special player. I love that she's really getting into her own this year. I'd like to see her more involved on the attacking side. She was one of the reasons why that Woodstock Classic game was as close as it was. She shut down Fennell in that second half, and look to her to start to get involved more offensively. They actually brought her sister up, who's a freshman this year as well, since Taylor Gordon went down. So we'll see if she gets into the game as the game goes on.
So that was Megan Kelly pushing transition for St. Anthony's. Haven't had a ton of opportunity to talk about her, but quite possibly the fastest player on Long Island. In fact, Darcy Messina said she's the fastest lacrosse player she's ever seen, bar none. And you see the speed right on cue. Kenny to the cage, 3-2 St. Anthony's.
They call the crease violation. They're calling that one back.
Good call. All right, no goal.
But Meg Kenny is explosive. And, she wears those colorful cleats, and it wouldn't matter. She could be wearing green cleats. You still wouldn't be able to, can't see her because she's so fast, but she's a tough matchup.
Now transition the other way. Shea Panzik as St. Anthony settles in defensively. Manhasset so far, though, Robin, doing a really nice job against that ride. They haven't had an open field turnover yet against it.
They're playing it well. They're playing it smart. They're not afraid. You said it before that there's intimidation, but they're not afraid. They're not afraid to run through girls. They're not afraid to make those tough passes, and they're not afraid to be there for one another. And that's what you need against this ride. Otherwise, you just crumble.
And again, with no Lapinto, no Gord, it's even more impressive because some of these girls are playing, their fourth, fifth game ever on varsity. Perfetto, a couple of dodges, and just off the mark, unable to put Manhasset in front for the first time today.
That's what I want to see from her. I want to see more of that. She's a prolific dodger who doesn't get much of an opportunity, but I think with Gordon and Lapinto out, she has to step up and start scoring goals. And that's exactly what I want to see from her.
And it's a great point, right? Because for a lot of these, it's a weird thing when you play at a Manhasset or St. Anthony's, but sometimes you'll go to college and your role will be bigger than it is in high school.
Yeah.
It's usually the opposite.
Absolutely.
And this is a little taste of that for someone like Lauren Perfetto or Holly Newman.
Yeah, listen, Lauren Perfetto is the kid who gets things done behind the scenes. Her brother, Lewis, just broke the assist record at BU. They are an exceptional lacrosse family. She is part of the reason why they're so exceptional. And if she can just start getting more involved offensively, Manhasset is going to be hard to beat.
And right on cue, another great lacrosse family, the Panzik. Shea has her second goal, and she has had to deal with a disproportionate amount of defensive attention previously divided between her, Lapinto, and Gordon. Now so much of it on Shea Panzik, and it doesn't matter this time.
When you're good, you're great. When you're great, you're great. She's a great player. She's a tough matchup, and she is putting this Manhasset team on her back right now.
And Robin, I think what's impressed me the most about Manhasset is just the efficiency going up against a goalie as good as Lexi Zhang. Typically, you're getting off 5 shots. You're maybe hoping for 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 so far for Manhasset.
Yeah, great players are going to score their goals. They're going to make it happen. Shea Panzik, she's not an outside shooter. She's on top, so she has time to really see the cage, get Zenk on her heels, and get that shot off, and that's exactly what she's doing twice.
Yeah, really just a powerful player. Strong, physical force, hardest shot on this team, and a third straight draw control win for Manhasset, who continues to roll early. Nicole Giannakopoulos pulls it out. Her older sister playing at Harvard. Despina, she'll be joining her there, a Harvard commit, a senior. Younger sister Alexia going to play her college lacrosse at Virginia. Great lacrosse family, also apparently an incredible academic family.
Yes, I mean, you don't go to Harvard with bad grades, right?
No, trust me, I tried. It didn't work.
I did not try.
Yeah, that's why Arizona State is.
Well, hey, you got palm trees in your backyard. Not so bad.
Great journalism school, so it worked out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were no palm trees at UConn.
Oh, really?
Something we were missing.
You guys, you didn't have the fake ones?
No, definitely not.
Theme day at lunch? All right.
No, we did not pretend to be anything we were not. It was cold.
You know, Molt's great basketball teams, though.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Panzer with another great feed inside.
Cassidy Harley just could not quite hold on, and that's against the St. Anthony's team where every mistake looms large. They can make you pay. Pushing pace. Julia May O'Connor coast to coast, and now she'll slow things down as Manhasset settles in defensively.
Yeah, I'd say St. Anthony's needs to take a little time here and get settled back offensively. They haven't had many touches since that Calabria goal, so they need to see what they can set up here, speed with the ball behind.
Someone you know well from the Wantagh area, got to coach her back in middle school.
Yeah, so I coached her when she was in 8th grade. She came up on varsity for playoffs, and I wanted her to stay, but she would not. So St. Anthony's, gets the win on that.
And Meg Kenny, a little contact to the head that time, so she'll have free position straight on, staring down Hannah Rubin.
You see a lot of that from Meg Kenny because she's so quick that sometimes sticks just kind of fly and make contact. What a save.
Kenny on the run. Rubin went cross-body to get the stop. We saw Rubin here on Varsity Media in that game against Cold Spring Harbor. Made exceptional save after replacing Ruby Cassiopo about halfway through that game.
Nice
and there's a great stick from Calabria.
She's going.
Calabria racing in. Hit late, leaves it high. Top left corner, and Calabria has her second.
That was beautiful. I mean, I didn't know if she was going to shoot that. She came in with speed, and just that shows you right there, you don't have to rip it. So many kids, they practice that step down, and it's a great opportunity for a step down, but she gets this check. That's the cleanest check you're going to get on a ride. She looks up. You see her head look up. She's looking for teammates. She's looking to see where the defense is, and she just lays it in there. She doesn't have to rip it. That was a floater. I want every PAL kid to watch that and see that you do not have to rip a shot when you're in tight. That's quintessential, textbook, floater, beautiful finish by Calabria.
Calabria's really had to step up as a leader this year. I mean, you could argue for 3 years running, she has been the most talented player, possibly. Obviously, Zenk has an argument. Kenny has an argument. The Avas from a few years ago at St. Anthony, there's been so many incredible players that come through this program. But arguably,
too, starting at Duke.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Arguably the most talented player on this team for 3 years running. But this year's a little different because as a senior, it's all kind of been on her shoulders. She is the unquestioned go-to girl, unquestioned leader of this offense, and she's taking that all on, and all St. Anthony's go undefeated.
It's something to be said also, she's a senior with a new coaching staff.
Right. It's a great point.
So not only is she, have the weight of the team on her shoulders, but she's got the weight of bridging that gap between the coaching staff and the rest of her team, and reminding them that they put these coaches here for a reason, and they put them there to help us win. But if she doesn't believe in that, the rest of the team doesn't. You got an 8-meter here for Kenny.
We saw Hannah Rubin, an exceptional stop on Kenny last time. Kenny looking for a little revenge as the final 20 seconds of this first quarter tick down. Low shot, low goal. Meg Kenny on the board, and St. Anthony's back in front.
It's funny. I heard our staff here in the booth saying, she moved. And I was about to say, it looks like they're going to call it back because she did go early. It looked like to me. You saw that flinch, but I guess she didn't make enough of a movement to make a difference. What a finish.
And if there's one player on Long Island that doesn't need a head start, it's Meg Kenny, right?
She is so fast.
She's going to get there first. I mean, I know I've said it 5 minutes ago, but I can't get over that quote. Darcy Messina played at Florida, saw some of the best girls in the country at the college level. She said as a high schooler, Meg Kenny is the fastest player she's ever seen. Said she could be an Olympic track star if that's what she was focused on. Instead, all about lacrosse, and Maryland is getting a good one. She could
100% run track in college at a D1 school. She's that fast. And she's quick, too. Sometimes it's like you're one or the other, and she's both.
Hit laid down near the end of the first quarter. Giannakopoulos battling, and Shea Panzik just going to loft it towards the cage. Oh, maybe a window there for Grayson Denahan if she could have caught the ball. Instead, we'll wrap up the first quarter. 4-3, thrilling first 12 minutes. The next 12 going to be a whole lot of fun here on Varsity Media, just getting you started on one of the best games of the season. Tess Calabria, the All-American, the 5-star, playing like it, turning defense into offense. St. Anthony's up 4-3 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Solid start for the Manhasset Indians here, 9-4 on the season under the guidance of first-year head coach Jackie Williams. We mentioned Darcy Messina replacing Summer Copeland. Jackie Williams stepping in for Meg Clark. What does she bring to the table in her first year?
I think she's an exceptional defender. I think a team that's as prolific in scoring in Manhasset, you just add another depth when your defensive coordinator is the head coach. I think sometimes head coaches tend to leave the defense to their assistants. When I was a head coach at Wantagh, I left my defense, my assistant coach was incredible, but as a head coach being a defender, you see the field differently, and I think that's a different look for Manhasset than they're used to, and I think it's helpful. And she's young. Young youth is something to say. She's closer to the game than others.
Yeah. And Jackie Williams was saying, look, it was like a tough position to be in, very close friends with Meg Clark, obviously, and just taking over again like a couple weeks before the start of the year. I mean, we were saying it for Manhasset, everything's been on the fly this year, like a new coach a little bit before the season, new players mid-season, and you're doing it all with a schedule where you really don't get a break, right? Every game is a national type opponent.
There's no breathing room here, but Jackie's new to the head coaching position, but she's not new to the team. The girls know her, the team knows her, the school knows her, she knows these girls. So as much as it's a new coaching staff, it's not new faces, if that makes sense.
And Darcy Messina, who was a junior varsity coach before this year, she was saying just from having played at St. Anthony's and having played under Summer Copeland, who was her assistant coach when she was in high school, she was saying there's shared DNA, and at schools like St. Anthony's and Manhasset, the standard doesn't change regardless of circumstance.
No, absolutely not. I think if anything, it allows the kids who maybe were, not a coach's favorite with the other coach to have an opportunity to play. And you have to re-earn your title, kind of. Even though Calabria is Calabria, she needs to show this coach now, hey, I'm Tess Calabria.
Yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah, you can't sit back.
Amanda Pacey on that ground ball. We haven't gotten to say the name of the Duke commit a whole lot. An All-American, the New York State Catholic High School League Player of the Year in 2023, and I mean, this defense is obviously full of stars, but Amanda Pacey certainly sets the tone, leads the way for them.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's, like Darcy said, she could be a quarterback. She quarterbacks the entire field from the defensive end, which is a rare find in high school.
St. Anthony's moving the ball really quickly and should be free position coming up here on the shooting space violation for Molly Heine. 12 points, 8 goals, 4 assists on the year.
Not a favorable hash. We'll see what she does here. I wouldn't be surprised if she pulls it out.
Heine instead going to goal. Low shot, bounces it in.
She said, shush, Robin. She said, this is a great hash for me, and I am mistaken.
She said, look, I only have 8 of these on the season.
Yeah.
I'm getting mine.
That's a great finish there, too. It's a big finish for St. Anthony's. They scored with less than a minute left in the first half, and now they just come out and score again. That's big time. That puts them back up, too. Manhasset's got to crawl back now.
Finding a little bit of breathing room after Manhasset got off to that great start, scoring 3 goals in a row to take a 3-2 lead. And it's very similar to last year's game between the two teams, where Manhasset went up early and then St. Anthony's just went on one of those signature runs, and once they have momentum, just so difficult to slow them down.
Yeah, they're too good to give them any momentum. They don't need help there.
Molly Heine going to play her college lacrosse at Johns Hopkins.
Tim McCormick, he's a Long Island guy. He's a Long Beach guy, actually. My husband played PAL with him.
Oh, awesome.
He's a great guy. I love that he's at Hopkins now. That they just won their first round game against, who'd they play? Fairfield. So they're moving on. So he's a great coach. She'll be in good hands there.
And again, it's a testament to St. Anthony's that Molly is maybe their 6th or 7th option, and she's going to a program like that.
Yeah, she'll probably start there. Oh, they're going to call offensive foul.
As Meg Kenny lost her footing on a moving screen.
I don't know what they called. I just saw that he pointed the other way, to be honest. I didn't see a hand movement.
So transition the other way is Alexia Giannakopoulos. Great athlete, special clearing ability. That's really one of her strengths.
You look at the Giannakopoulos girls, and they all look the same, and they're all just strong and fast and powerful players, and it's not a train you want to get in the way of running down full speed.
We were talking about this a little before, but it's one of those things when you're a coach at Manhasset, you see the first sister come in, and you hear from the parent, oh yeah, she's 3 younger sisters.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
An immediate smile.
Yeah. And all right, we're set for at least the next 2 years. And here's speaking of which, Nicole Giannakopoulos draws a slide. Oh, slick feed, tried to squeeze it into Perfetto. Perfetto, though, decleated by Heine. And now St. Anthony's can go the other way.
That was, if that feeds an inch in a different direction, that's a goal.
And it just tells you the thin margins you have against St. Anthony's have to be picture perfect in everything you do. As Riley Zusi pushes up the field, shows off her speed as a Florida commit.
Florida, who also just beat UNC in the first round.
I believe with Emma Pinto still there, right?
No, Emma's at BC now.
Oh, gotcha.
Transferred to BC. But Florida beat UNC by 9 in the first round, which is a big time win for them. I believe they play UVA next.
And a recovery here for Hannah Rubin, who has just been excellent in the early going of this one, keeping Manhasset in it. Slightly overthrowing that clear, but you'd rather overthrow it than underthrow it against this St. Anthony's team. Giannakopoulos to Yang.
Manhasset doing a great job keeping composure on this against this tough St. Anthony's ride. I'm really impressed with them. They're looking, as much as they're losing this game right now, they're looking very good.
I was going to say, it feels like they're playing about as well as they could possibly play it. It's 5-3.
I just had to look at the score, to be honest, because I was like, oh, this is, what are they tied? And I was like, oh, they're losing by 2, but it feels like they're really running this game. They've had possession, majority possession. They're just not finishing. And it's not anything Zink is doing. I don't even know how many saves she has, to be honest. They're just not getting the shots that they're looking for.
And a couple of turnovers on those tight interior passes. Yeah. Perfetto trying to bully her way inside. Meg Kenny's having none of that. Zipped in. What a pass by Perfetto, but that time Zink eats up the shot as they couldn't get everything they wanted on it.
Another St. Anthony's player saying, be quiet, Robin. Here's a save. You want to save? I got one. So I got to, keep talking them up, I guess.
A little bit of a dribbler to Lexi Zink, and she's going to smother that up every time. Splitting time a year ago with Shea Lembo, who's now playing at Stanford. And it's rare you have a top 5 goalie in the country that only is a full-time starter as a senior. But again, welcome to St. Anthony's and the St. Anthony's experience. And Zink obviously relishing the opportunity. 80 saves so far on the year.
Yeah, she's a special goalie. And Lembo is special, too. She, Stanford just lost, actually, by 1 to Denver. Sorry, I'm giving you all the college stats, but there's so many girls from these programs playing at these top schools that, it's worth noting what their schools are doing right now. And great defense by Perfetto. Wow.
Man, and it's sticking with Kenny for 3, 4, 5 moves, and Kenny says, come at me. Hear my name. Meg Kenny was bottled up, and she made it personal.
That was absolute textbook defense. Perfetto staying on her hips, but like we said before, if you're not on the stick, you're not on the player. And she just works hard. Perfetto has no help there. She loses her balance for a second. She recovers. She's on her body. Great job. But Zink gets her hands free, and that's all it takes. That's a great lefty snipe.
It was 3 different shot fakes, and that was something Meg Kenny, going into her junior season, really emphasized. Had all that speed, and Summer Copeland at the time wanted to really work on her deceleration and her ability to just stop suddenly, with how fast she's going and how fast you have to go to keep up with her, it's just so deadly when she could slow her momentum all at once. And you saw at that time to finally ditch Perfetto.
Yeah, that was a great finish. She, you forget that like left, right doesn't matter. That was just an absolute snipe. Absolute snipe. She got her hands free. Perfetto was right there. She got her hands free for half a second and rips it.
So 2 goals on the day for Meg Kenny, 2 for Tess Calabria, and St. Anthony's has a game-high 3-goal advantage.
This is not what Manhasset wants. Manhasset needs a stop here. They need a goal here. Otherwise, it can really turn this game around really fast, and that's not going to help them.
Scoop this time from Zusi. Or excuse me, Heine this time. And St. Anthony's will slow things down at least for a second. Calabria not wanting to isolate that time, so it's Rathjen as everyone gets a touch for the Friars.
Sharing is caring.
I
say to my boys.
Yeah, it is something you would say to little kids.
To my toddler, yes.
But it's also something you need to emphasize on a team full of D1 prospects. That's a great stop from Rubin. Stick extended, somehow able to get to that ball.
Great recovery by Manhasset defense there too. Avicine Gino stays with the player, and then you see Perfetto come in to help, and it takes a little bit off the shot. My God.
And on the run, Meg Kenny is heating up in real time. Another laser, and she has a hat trick.
I think something that's not spoken about as much about Meg Kenny is I think her shot's as fast as her feet. She absolutely rips this ball. Same shot, but righty this time, and she just gets her hands free and rips it from the outside, and she shoots hard. That is a hard shot. Gets her step, gets her hands free. The slide's there, but it's not there fast enough, and she just absolutely unloads.
Not exactly the same type of player, but you could tell me this comparison's way off. Someone you know well. It almost reminds me of watching Kylie Colbert against Manhasset, where she was just an assassin on the run, and those hands get free and it's over.
A player like Kylie Colbert, I think that's a great analogy, actually. She's not as fast as Meg Kenny is, but she's as quick, if that makes sense. And I think when quickness on attack is all you really need in that situation, and Kylie was able to get her hands free and just absolutely rip the ball and like perfectly placed, and you're like, how did that go there? And that's exactly what Meg Kenny just did. She used her speed to get open, she used her quickness to get her hands, and unleashed. Great analogy. Look at you.
I appreciate it. I'll take
I didn't like your Kylie analogy earlier, but I'll take this one.
I was
behind the scenes analogy.
We could talk through it. I was saying she might be the best player I've seen play. So you're like,
and I said Madison Taylor is the best player I've ever seen play in my life.
I cannot, based on how they're doing in college, I cannot argue with that. Madison Taylor certainly the best to come off Long Island the last couple of years.
Yeah, she'll be a Twarton winner and on the USA team, and you can mark my words and bet me money on that.
I cannot argue with facts. She's been extraordinary. To be clear, I said right away Madison Taylor. It definitely.
I would say it's a bias of mine, but she's just that good, and you can ask her coaches. That I got a text the other day from her coach and the coach's mom, both saying she's the best player in the nation. I was like, yeah, no, she is.
There you go.
Sorry, back to this game.
And Denahan is surrounded. Denahan just barely getting rid of the ball to Yang, and it is a baptism by fire for Denahan and Yang, 2 sophomores filling in for Taylor Gordon and Mila Pinto.
You're seeing the youth a little bit here. Manhasset looks a little lost with the feeds inside. If it's not, they're Panzik with the ball. You're seeing that I wouldn't say nerves, but it's the lack of time playing and the lack of knowing their teammates and when those passes are coming and how they're coming, and that will come. I think Manhasset will be just fine making a playoff run, but against the St. Anthony's team like this, you cannot make those mistakes.
And it's why you schedule this game this time of the year, right? Last regular season game, at least for Manhasset, I believe, and it kind of sets you up. And like if you want to know what your weaknesses are going to the playoffs, what you need to work on, St. Anthony's tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, Manhasset, like we said earlier, they don't shy away from competition. They play Darien, they play Manhasset. I'm sorry, they are Manhasset. They play St. Anthony's, they play Sacred Heart.
Garden City every year, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's a conference game though, but they don't get to choose that. But their non-conference games are no joke, and that's what the best teams in the country have to do to make those deep playoff runs. You know, you want to add a banner of that state championship, you have to play a St. Anthony's, you have to play a Sacred Heart, you have to play a Darien, a Victor, all those teams. Otherwise, you can't compete. Meg Kenny is going off right now.
Guess who rushes in for goal number 4, has scored the last 3 for St. Anthony's.
Another 8-meter. You know, we said before she's so dangerous because she's so quick that 6 kind of fly. And this one's a very different look. She flies in there. Manhasset almost doesn't even play her on that. If I'm the goalie, if I'm Hannah Rubin, I am screaming at my defenders to get in on her body on that 8-meter. She was wide open and just floated it in. They have to close on that or they're going to pay all game.
Yeah, just too easy for a player that good, that talented. Manhasset, again, they've struggled a little bit since those injuries. I mean, their only losses early in the year were by a goal to Southside, by a goal to Garden City, and then they play a great Darien team that's obviously, I mean, given St. Anthony's the best game they played all year, they lose 13-2 in that game, and Manhasset kind of had to regroup from there. Jackie Williams feels like they're getting there, but obviously even when the camaraderie starts clicking, even when the timing starts clicking, you cannot replace the sheer talent of a Taylor Gordon and Amelia Pinto.
You can't, and this is a big draw here for Manhasset. They're going to have the ball with 3.5 minutes left, plenty of time to work. They have to score here or this game's going to get ugly. I'm sure just from an energy perspective, right, if just having a goal heading into halftime feels a lot better, especially because they've yet to score in the second quarter. Yeah, I mean, you look at the body language on the field. I wouldn't even say the benches because honestly, the energy on the St. Anthony's bench a little bit better, but I wouldn't say the Manhasset bench is flat. But you look at the energy on the field, and Manhasset looks a little deflated. They need a goal here.
Giannakopoulos battling, fires from outside, and that's too easy for Zank, but a foul on the shot goes against Amanda Pacey. Pacey does such a good job typically of towing that line between physicality and legality. That time just tipping a little too far over. So Nicole Giannakopoulos, the Harvard commit, needing a goal here.
Yeah, she needs to, that's a great look inside. But like we said, it's almost that youth of Manhasset, not youth, I'm sorry, inexperience of the Manhasset attack right now that's showing its ugly head a little bit because those feeds inside are caught by Lapinto. They're caught by Taylor Gordon, and they're not being collected right now.
So free position for Yang again, coming off a game where she had a hat trick, certainly buoys some confidence. Thriving against Sacred Heart, now taking on another Catholic power, staring down Lexi Zank. That intimidating black jersey. Yang battles in, takes her time, misses the net. Manhasset there to recover with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
That's how you want to recover the ball too. Panzik has to regroup here. She's got to get her team on her back and be like, hey, we're in this game. Let's stop the bleeding. Let's get a goal between her and Giannakopoulos. Something has to happen.
Giannakopoulos, couple of moves, really well guarded that time by Pacey.
Another foul though. And you can see the frustration there after she kind of got rid of the ball. She kind of looked at the ref like, are you going to call it? And he's like, oh, okay, fine. Lots of contact. And I know this game has a lot of contact in it, but that's the right call.
So Giannakopoulos, a second opportunity at Zank here. Couldn't get a shot on goal the first time around. Giannakopoulos goes, fires again wide. Back up there for Manhasset. We'll try that quick start again. Got 1 goal on it in the first quarter, but this time St. Anthony's ready.
And Panzik has a tight face guard on her right now. Her defensive player is not looking at all at anyone else. She's in a pure face guard. So she's going to have to rely on her teammates a little bit to get her open.
And again, no Gordon, no Lapinto. You can do that. You can't necessarily do that with those two on the field as there's an errant pass. Trying to squeeze it into Giannakopoulos, and St. Anthony's will sprint the other way. Attacking an unsettled defense. Coast-to-coast action, Kenny High off the pass from Long. Minute to go, first half ball in the ever-ready stick of Tess Calabria.
Yeah, and the problem, you see how quickly St. Anthony's can strike there. They're not taking time off the clock. They're like, all right, let's go to goal. And Manhasset has to get back and settled in that offsides there. All that does is stop the clock. Staying with St. Anthony's behind. And who has it? Emma Speed with the ball. Oh, no, sorry, Calabria on the elbow.
So Calabria fakes the pass, goes to goal. Low shot, Rubin able to deter it.
Now it's Emma Speed.
There you go. You're just a little ahead of the play.
Yeah, I thought she had the ball before I was faked out.
Kenny will move it along. Pacey, face dodge, low shot. Amanda Pacey pours one in, or excuse me, Molly Heine that time. My mistake.
Once again, if I'm Hannah Rubin, I am furious with my defense. They're not closing. There's no help. You know, it's one-on-one game the whole time, and they're just letting their attackers have that one-on-one opportunity. You cannot do that against St. Anthony's. You know, you see that they're putting her out on an island. No defender. Nobody's watching. You see that? She had 22 out on an island. You know, Jim Campos looked back as she's running away, but they have to close. They're not closing with their bodies. They're not getting stick on stick. Jackie Williams is going to have to crack that a half.
And is that a fear of leaving Calabria or Kenny or someone of that ilk for even a second? And like, how do you strike that balance in terms of sliding and recovering?
Stick in the passing lane.
Yeah.
You know, you say that all the time because you're like, how do I slide off her? Well, if your stick is in the passing lane, you don't have to worry about those passes. You know, even as an attacker, I played attack. I played on the crease in college, and you see as defender stick, you think twice. You know, even for the half a second to think twice, you can recover. But they have to close on the body of these attackers, or St. Anthony's is going to run away with this game.
And now Amanda Pacey has it. I got she was 28 last year. You know, they shouldn't be changing numbers on me.
They all have braids, too. It's hard.
It's brutal. Low shot, skims wide, and that'll do it for the first half after an even first quarter. It was 4-3 St. Anthony's. The Friars rip off a 5-0 second quarter to take control.
Darcy Messina run to her goalie and her defenders there. This is a defensive game for St. Anthony's.
And here's Meg Kenny. One dodge,
Nice.
two dodge, to the cage, on the run, a dot. And St. Anthony's in control, number one team in the country, rolling here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Dante does it again!
Defensive play. Dante Pizarro.
Yellow ties it or move by Yeso steps up and score.
A jump shot for Nell.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us at
media.net.
Thank you so much for joining us. About to get back to action here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A 9-3 lead for the number one team in the country, St. Anthony's. As we wanted to tell you about the Bowie 4-story, 6 childhood friends from Long Island, New York, who grew up together on and around the water and developed a special connection to the serenity that the water provides. That is where the Bowie 4 mantra was born. We choose the water. With every purchase made, they donate a portion of their proceeds to water conservation groups. Bowie 4 offers a wide range of apparel and accessories for team stores, corporate gear, and fundraising initiatives. All of our products are designed, created, and printed on-site. Bowie up your wardrobe. Get your limited edition game day hoodie for 24 hours at www.bowie4.com. See you out on the open waters. And our buoy for player of the game. I mean, the early favorite has to be Meg Kenny right now.
Yeah, she definitely took this team and put her on her back. She's unguardable right now. She is. Until Manhasset starts to close with their bodies and close and play team defense, she's going to continue to run up the score.
And Meg Kenny, originally a North Carolina commit, UNC was going to get the full trio as we take a look at a new goaltender into the game. Ruby Cassiopo warming up, such a talent, widely considered one of the best goaltenders in that class of 2026, and it's been an ongoing battle between her and Hannah Rubin the last 3 years. Cassiopo initially getting moved up for Meg Clark's squad as an 8th grader.
Yeah, I remember playing against her, and I was like, everyone's like, oh, she's in 8th grade, and I was like, oh, well, that's not fun for me because we're going to have to play against her the next couple years. Another draw for the Friars. You know, it's funny, I was commentating and get a text from a friend, and she's like, oh, is that you commentating? That's my sister-in-law. And Katie Carter, giving you a shout-out, one of the best players and one of the fastest players I've ever coached in my life at Adelphi, All-American there, and her husband, also a national champion, and he's a Stateville grad. And, you know, there's no wonder why Brittany's so talented in the coaching realm as well.
All right, so if she has time to come down here, we can set up the post-game race between her and Meg Kenny.
Yeah, we used to say she'd beat a car in a race.
We have a car. Her name is Meg Kenny.
Yeah, there you go. Here we go, Katie. You're on.
She's a Cadillac.
She did just have a baby, so it might be a little tough. But
right. Okay. All right. That could change things.
And my money's on Katie.
All right. We'll give her a few more months.
Back in 09.
Yeah. Brooke Long trying to dodge to the cage.
She goes, I always want to race her. There you go, Katie. It's setting it up.
Catherine Rathjen on the run, and Manhasset able to come up with a stop. And they're trying to get some transition going the other way. It's been the other great part of this ride. You don't typically get a lot of transition against St. Anthony's, but you have to be so meticulous working your way up the field. But a nice push, and Grayson Denahan will have it back. Denahan hasn't scored yet, hasn't had an assist yet, but I think she's been really solid. Just hasn't been, I guess, afraid against this Manhasset defense. One of her first starts, just a sophomore, and has been really composed, even though she's being swarmed every time she touches the ball.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest differences in this game right now is when Manhasset is pushing, St. Anthony's is dropping in fast, whereas when St. Anthony's is pushing, there's nobody in sight for Manhasset. So that's going to be something that I hope Jackie was able to fix at halftime.
Holly Newman trying to burrow her way inside. Some physical defense from Meg Kenny, who is a lockdown defender on top of being one of the more dynamic attacking talents on the island.
Sometimes you forget she's a midi because she is so prolific on the offensive end, but she is a great defender as well.
And here's Holly Newman, a Cornell commit. Her older sister Ashley plays at Yale.
Yale, who's having a fantastic season this year.
And that's a great slide in at the last second from Amanda Pacey to knock that ball away.
I would like to talk about that defensive play on the end line, too. You had the defender, I can't read it, with the green cleats, number 23, I think. She went up for that ball and kept it in bounds and gave it back to her goalie, and that was that just saved the possession for Manhasset.
So that is for Riley Zusi.
Oh, there you go. Zusi, killing it. Great play. Those are the plays that we don't talk about and that make a difference in a game right there. Up by 6 goals, and she puts that effort in to keep that ball in bounds and give it back to her goalie.
And it's where you give Darcy Messina so much credit, is that you have someone heading to play for Florida, like one of the better teams in the country, who was an offensive player her entire life, and she is committed to just doing the dirty work on defense all season long. And you get that buy-in.
You know, when you believe in your coaches, like I said, Calabria's biggest job this year is to get her team to buy into her new coaching staff, right? When you believe in your coaches like that and they tell you, hey, I need you on the defensive end, you jump at the opportunity to play on the defensive end.
And she said, really, it's this entire midfield group as they could, as Kenny tries to find another one here. Tic-tac-toe, passing dunk shot.
Save.
Cassiopo shut her down on the precipice of the cage.
That's a great first look for Cassiopo. Save of the game right there. I'm with you. Great save. On the doorstep, first action she's seeing, and she shuts it down. That's huge for Manhasset.
Hannah Rubin, I mean, she had some spectacular saves in that first half, brings so much consistency to the table, but Cassiopo just has this ceiling of making these saves that just kind of blow your mind. Her reaction time, so incredibly good.
Yeah, you know, the difference between them, I think that Cassiopo is more of a showstopper save.
Yeah.
You know, she makes those saves that you're like, how did she make those saves? And Rubin is just a solid goalie through and through. You know, she doesn't have many weaknesses, but she doesn't make those saves that you're like, whoa, where Cassiopo.
We should note that Ruben in the first half had some borderline whoa saves. Yeah.
She was phenomenal. She didn't start getting, quote unquote, lit up until her defense stopped playing. So she was phenomenal. But Cassiopo makes those show-stopping saves that you're like, how did she make that save? And Ruben is just solid throughout.
I remember talking to Meg Clark when Cassiopo first came up as an 8th grader, and the phrase she used was she plays like a boy. And I didn't quite know how to interpret that, but it's almost the way she just dictates action, just super aggressive. And
quick. She's quick.
Yeah, she's really quick. Robin, we're in for a great goaltending run. Obviously, Lexi Zankin, we get to see her play against another Florida commit, Maya Soskin, on Monday. That's maybe the 2 best goaltenders on Long Island in one game, 2 of the best in the entire country.
Florida has a knack for getting the best goalies in the country every time. I mean, you look at Sarah Resnick from Long Beach, power to Long Beach there. That's where I live now. But she was incredible. And then she committed there as an 8th grader and was an All-American. She was incredible. And now they continue to just get powerhouse goalies, and it'll be fun. Yeah, so that's going to be a great game.
Free position here for Shea Pansick, who got off to such a great start in this one. 2nd and 3rd goals of the game, and Manhasset had that early lead, and then since then she's been face guarded, trying to find a hat trick here, diving to the cage.
Another free position coming up for her.
Yeah, it was flattened.
That's the free positions. I would wonder if we had those stats. Manhasset has not been scoring on the free positions, where St. Anthony's has been really taking advantage of them. You see that the defense, they just get in on her, but too much of the stick. Get the trip behind her. She's going to get another opportunity.
Pansick this time goes high and beats Lexi Zeng for her 3rd goal of the game.
Manhasset needed that like they needed Gatorade at halftime. I mean, that was a great finish from Pansick. She ran it all the way in the first time, wasn't successful, got tripped up. She said, okay, let me just bury it this time. She takes a nice floater shot, exactly where she wants it. Zank has no chance. She doesn't even really make an effort on it. That was a great finish by Pansick.
Pansick been a starter since her sophomore year last season. I mean, it's been a tough 2-year run for Manhasset. This was a team that was also just extremely hampered by injury. Didn't get Shea Pansick back until the playoffs. They had Alex Schneider, who was a top 30 player in the country, missing most of the year. Nicole Giannakopoulos missed their entire playoff run. And then to go from that to have a mostly healthy season until Taylor Gordon, Mila Pinto, back-to-back ACL tears. I mean, your heart breaks for this community. Your heart breaks for these seniors because they have had 2 years in a row now really hampered by injuries. Obviously, last year, quote-unquote, hampered season. It still included winning the Nassau County Championship and playing one of the best teams in the country, Bayport Blue Point, to a classic in the Long Island Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. You forget these girls are best friends. So not only are their teammates going down, but you see Mila Pinto go down in that the Woodstock Classic, which I was here for. You see it, and you just see the whole sideline like hold their breath because that's their friend. It's not just their teammate. These girls are best friends. So that's definitely a hard part of the game, and something that they're working on at the higher levels to stop these ACL injuries. You see it everywhere. But it's a big push by soccer right now to do some research on it. Calabria with another rip and another incredible save by Cassiopo.
I mean, Cassiopo, what it starts 7 minutes into this 3rd quarter, and St. Anthony's, after scoring 5 in the 2nd, has yet to put a goal on the board. And I remember, Rob, I think the first time I covered your team at Wantagh, you guys were using 2 goalies. How much of a challenge is that as a coach to know when's the right time to switch, when's the right time to ride the hot hand?
I loved having 2 goalies. I had a lefty and a righty, and neither of them were Ruby Cassiopo. They were both very much a Hannah Rubin, a standing goal, make the great save. And it just gave a different viewpoint. Mm-hmm. The defense liked playing with 2 goalies. They liked that it showed a different hand to the offensive team. You have to scout 2 goalies.
And there's a golden look. Oh, it hits off the post. Right on the precipice of the cage was Yang, but did not have a clean catch. She was left alone on the crease. Perfect pass by Harley, and just couldn't quite get her stick on it. Or excuse me, the pass might have been a little bit off the mark. It was hard to tell.
That's what we were talking about in the first half, is that the youth of Manhasset's experience is what's hindering them right now on the offensive end, because they're not finishing those plays. They're not catching clean. They're not finishing those plays. It's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of just inexperience on the field. But if these are clean catches, they're goals every time. And I think that's something that they have to look forward to, that they're getting these shots off and they're getting the assists, the passes off, and they just need to finish.
And the defense certainly stabilizing a little bit in the second half. Manhasset has had their opportunities as they try to squeeze one in there, but you mentioned playing the passing lane. Pacey doing it perfectly.
I mean, that was a beautiful knockdown by her. That was a great pass. I was ready to be excited about a goal there, and she just absolutely destroys any hope that Manhasset had a goal. That was a great defensive play.
And that's the beauty of having a defender like Amanda Pacey, plays that would be just surefire finishes and single-handedly able to erase it.
And that's what you're talking about. You know, she's closing on the ball, but she had her stick in the passing lane, and you still get that knockdown.
Quick move, man. That was fast by Ratchin. And there's the first goal of the second half for St. Anthony's.
It's a great move by Ratchin here. She fakes like she's going to go left. She looks like she's going to feed, and then she just burns her defender, takes that righty shot, and it's a nice bounce shot for Cassiopo. You know, she comes in slow. She looks like she's going to feed, gets her defender on her heels, and just takes that righty lane. There's no help. No help on the right side there.
Able to beat St. Gino's, but to your point, against a team like St. Anthony's, like it's inevitable you're going to get beat one-on-one. It's about slide and making that slide.
You know, it's funny because you talk to your defender before the game, and you have to remind them you cannot be afraid to get beat. You're going to get beat, but your defense has to be there to help you, and that's what we're missing from this Manhasset defense right now, is that they're not helping each other. You know, St. Gino's gets beat on that, but she was a slide earlier when somebody else got beat, and they're not closing fast enough on this St. Anthony's team that's so prolific on the scoring end that it's burying them right now with a 6-goal deficit.
And look, we've talked so much about no Mila Pinto, no Taylor Gordon, Maddie Chun, an equally as significant loss. Fortunately for Manhasset, not an ACL or anything. She's just home with a stomach bug that Jackie Williams was also dealing with throughout the week. But she's the vocal leader of this defense. She's the senior on this defense who's been in these battles, who's played St. Anthony's 2, 3, 4 times. This would have been the 4th time. And that communication breakdown, especially against a team like St. Anthony's, against another team you might survive it, they're going to expose it.
Right, and Maddie Chun is a great defender. She's aggressive. She's strong. She's a smart defender going to Dartmouth. You know, she doesn't mess around, and I think when you take somebody like your quintessential quarterback on defense, like it's taking an Amanda Pacey away from St. Anthony's defense. They're still going to be good, but they're not going to be as great as they are, and that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, and you think about if you flip the injuries, and there was no Calabria, no Kenny, no Pacey. I mean, and Manhasset had everyone. It's a very different ball game, obviously, but that's not the reality we live with, and we're fortunate that everyone on St. Anthony's is healthy, and Manhasset. I mean, Taylor Gordon obviously going to have 2 years to bounce back, and Maddie Chun and Mila Pinto going to excel at the next level with a full summer to get healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Lapinto might miss her fall. She might even miss her freshman year red shirt, but she will be just fine at the next level. I actually played with one of the USC coaches, and she's very excited to have her up there. So quick healing for her. She's got her surgery this week, Gordon too. So I want to see them both on the field. Healthy, happy, ready to play.
I'm always jealous. You hear these commits, and it just sounds like they're all going to such fun colleges.
Yeah.
North Carolina, USC, Florida, great weather, great environment. It just makes you think, you should have committed to lacrosse at a really young age.
You know, I always laugh because Florida didn't have a team when I was originally in college. They got one, I think, my sophomore year, and I always remember being like, oh, man.
Yeah. why am I stuck at UConn? What am I doing?
We're practicing in 20-degree weather, and we're not allowed to wear sweatpants, and here's Florida. They're taking pictures with palm trees. Why did I picked the wrong school?
That's weird. Yeah.
No Huskies. Love my Huskies.
You're just a little too late for the transfer portal
era.
Too
old.
Yeah, you would have been. You would have been in there collecting some NIL and getting paid to go to paradise.
To do this again, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I am very happy to not have grown up with social media. I'm good. I'm good being old.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
So free position here for Manhasset, trying to make this a ball game with a minute to go in the third quarter, and again,
just too quick. Getting Pacey again with the knockdown.
Yeah.
She's everywhere. You don't say her name because you don't even realize it's her sometimes, but she's everywhere. There's a reason why she's Player of the Year.
So there's this great story last year we got from Summer Copeland on Amanda Pacey. They were playing a fall league game, and the other team was up, and they were stalling, and she just yelled from the sideline, Amanda, go get the ball, and Amanda immediately went and took it away from the player. An assistant coach went up to Summer Copeland and said, why don't we just do that every time?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's, I remember playing against Cold Spring Harbor, and we're down 1, and I put Eva and Gurley and Maddie Alima, who are 2 of the best attackers, but they were so known for their ride. I put them in the defensive end to get the ball back with Maddie Taylor, and we ended up winning that game with no time left. But it was like, I remember turning to my coach and saying, my assistant saying, this is the play of the year if we get this ball back here. And it's the same thing. When you have a player like that, you can just turn and be like, hey, go get the ball. It's like, oh, okay.
We saw Yang trying to tiptoe the crease. Yeah, and there's a dive
Zhang came out of nowhere for that. I didn't even see her in the crease, and all of a sudden she's stuffing her.
So Lexi Zhang back-to-back big stops. Manhasset notches a goal. St. Anthony's notches a goal. Still a lot of work to do for the Indians. Down by 6, playing better defense, but needing some offense to make Zank in the area. It's all St. Anthony's here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
About to get going. Fourth quarter here from Manhasset High School. Manhasset, St. Anthony's, the Friars up 10-4, late goal, and then some late stops to wrap up that third quarter. But Manhasset certainly starting to figure things out defensively. It starts with the insertion of Ruby Cassiopo, who was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great save. I mean, you said it's like the rich get richer. You take Hannah Rubin out, who had a phenomenal first half, and just, faced too many shots to really keep him in it, and then you have Ruby Cassiopo come in and make those two incredible saves off the bat. It gets your whole team fired up. All of a sudden, there's energy. You saw the difference in the team there. They just played differently that entire third quarter.
And St. Anthony is doing a great job spending a lot more time on defense in that third quarter, but we talked a lot about Amanda Pacey, but it is a full team effort on that side of the ball. Julie May O'Connor, a Syracuse commit. She's been excellent. Riley Zusi's name, we've said a couple of times. Maddie Morris heading to USF. She's excellent all year long. And Lexi Zank, of course, leading the way in goal.
Yeah, the defense from St. Anthony's has just been they've been claustrophobic. They're like, you get the ball and all of a sudden you got 6 girls on you. It feels like I said before, like there's 6 extra girls on the field. And a lot of that is Pacey. She's all over the place. Stick everywhere. She's on the draw circle too. She is like an aggressive, encumbering human.
I think the uniform self too, the black and gold. You just kind of blot out the
all
sun.
The black, yeah.
Just the total eclipse. Heine.
Great draw. She just took that right out of the air with 3 girls on her. One of her own, but
2 goals in the first half for Heine, now up to 10 on the year, and it's just any given day for St. Anthony's. It could be Heine, it could be Rathjen, could be Binkus, and it's why you just have to respect everyone on their team, and that's where Meg Kenny and Tess Calabria just feast in single coverage.
Yeah.
Here's Kenny, 4 goals already on the day. When she's determined, she's been unstoppable, and seeing she is back up just firing. Emma Speed there to pick it up. Speed, just a sophomore, but she's someone who's really exciting to this coaching staff down the road.
You know what the thing is about Speed is that she does the dirty work, and she gets, what a goal by Calabria.
And we've seen Calabria, just the versatility in her shot making, right? You said in transition, the finesse. We've seen her shoot with speed, and that time going low.
Yeah, she came in, she beat 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. You're going to see it here. They did slide on this one, but once again, not on the body. She drops her stick low. She takes on Giancopoulos here. She gets a step on her. You see the slide from Newman. The slides are just too slow, and she gets in there. She drops her stick, and Cassiopo has no chance at that.
And just, we made some basketball analogies earlier. We were both Knicks fans talking about Jalen Brunson. She almost reminds me of him a little bit, just in the versatility of her shot making, where it doesn't matter where she's in the field.
Right.
It doesn't really matter her platform, how much speed. Like, she just has a full bat.
Let's go Caitlin Clark there,
There we go. Caitlin Clark, why not? Yeah.
Let's go UConn. Let's go with the female basketball players. She can dunk. She can shoot from the outside. Yeah. It's the same Meg Kenny. They can burn you from the logo, but they're also going to take it in for a lefty layup. So, dangerous.
UConn women's basketball. I hope you're excited. Next year's the year. Hopefully finally healthy. Azzy Fudd, Sarah Strong coming in.
Yep, absolutely. Trust me, I'm on board. Go Skis, roll Skis, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be really good. That's the year finally. USC though, we're talking about them in lacrosse.
Juju, she's great.
Yeah, and they've added some transfers, but we're getting off topic here.
Yeah. Sorry, we
No,
no,
it's
basketball
my fault.
too. But let's go back to this game right here. But it's fun to be able to talk about women's sports. Oh, what a goal!
That was awesome.
Great goal
Faking
there.
high, finishing low, and a substitution in off the bench for this Manhasset side. Believe that was Harper Lambert, who's been really heating up since those injuries. 12 points, 8 goals, 4 assists. Tall, lefty freshman, and she is one of the next great goal scorers in this Manhasset program.
Yeah, Panzik is playing this game well. She's like, okay, you're going to face guard me. I'm going to let my teammate do it. She's behind with me, and the slide is just slow because the girl who's on Panzik is not looking to help at all, and she takes advantage and scores that goal. That's a great senior captain right there. Just be unselfish and say, I'm not going to get in your way. I'm going to take pressure. I'm going to take defenders away from you. Go out and finish it, and that's exactly what she did.
And we keep saying we're just so impressed with how these girls have stepped. I mean, you look at that Sacred Heart game, and it was Danahan had 4 goals, Yang had 3 goals. Like, these are sophomores, didn't get to play the whole year, and are excelling on very short notice.
Well, you say all the time these girls would be starting at most schools in the country, let alone Long Island. They'd be starting
and starring.
Starring, and they have to play more of a backup role here, and they're filling that need.
Giannakopoulos, that's
Huge
a great
job.
ground ball. Whips it ahead. Tic-tac-toe passing. Fake. And the crush.
That should be their draw,
and
too.
1 goal.
They might give them the draw on this and give a card. That's exactly what's going to happen. So after the goal, a defender came in hot and it's Meg Kenny. She's going to get a card. She came in hot and put too much body contact. Look at this passing. Giannakopoulos comes with speed. She hits her down low. So now Manhasset's going to get, so right after it, she comes in with a cross check. So what happens there, if there's a foul after the play, there's a yellow card, and the team who got fouled gets the draw. So there's not going to be a draw here. It's just going to be Manhasset's ball in the circle.
And it was Cassidy Harley on that goal. I mean, that.
Cassidy Harley.
Yeah, what a catch and finish by Harley. So there's a lot of speed on that ball. It was a little bit behind her, able to put the stick back, make sure she held on, taking the hit, and now.
And that's exactly what Manhasset needed. They needed to be able to come in with speed and transition, and that's what they did. Off the draw, but off the draw may as well be transition. So now Giannakopoulos is going to start with the ball, like we said.
And if Manhasset can score here, I mean, you blink and it's a little bit of a ball game. It's 11-7 with 10 and a half minutes left.
We talked about this. I said Jackie Williams is going to have to make some big changes at half, and that's exactly what she did. And these girls listened.
And we're speaking a lot in the first half about just the misses in terms of their feeding game, and that was just an ultra clean transition.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was wide open on the doorstep, and she buries that with a lot of defenders coming at her, but the slide was too late, which is why Manhasset has the ball now, and she was able to bury that and take the contact after.
And St. Anthony's has been really good all year long in these man-down situations.
Calling 3 seconds on St. Anthony's. And in high school lacrosse, it's not a releasable penalty. So if Manhasset scores here, they can continue to score with player up scenario. I'm excited for that to change, to be honest, because like we said earlier, that was a difference in the Woodstick Classic. Panza got a yellow card early, and Garden City scored 3 goals, and it was the difference in the game.
Shot on the run that time by Lambert. Back up there, though, in the form of Yang.
Barely. Pacey was right there.
Yeah, I remember it was the Northport New Canaan game we did a year ago where a non-releasable just totally flipped that game on its head.
It's an unfortunate part of the girls' game that I'm hoping, the college, they're seeing the success with the college. I hope that it comes down to the high school game along with the shot clock, which is coming in 2025. Thank God.
It's really exciting. Boys and girls going.
I'm telling you right now, my Wantaw teams, we win the states without a shot clock. Teams were able to just, hold the ball against us, which killed us. But I'm glad to see these changes coming to high school because they're making the game so much better in the college.
Yeah, and St. Anthony's a player down, and they continue to battle, continue to create havoc. Nothing easy for Manhasset.
Still feels like they've got 6 extra players.
And they'll have a chance to waste some time here with the ball in the stick of Heine.
There's only, penalties released in 2-1. Kenny's back on now. We're full strength, and Manhasset was not able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, losing it, and I got a little ahead of myself. It was still Manhasset ball, but now St. Anthony's sprinting the other way. Brooke Long, relatively quiet outing for her. Now it's Maddie Morris. Morris trying to find Long. Long playing a little field hockey, scooping it off the carpet, chiseling her way in, and she'll have a free position.
That speed of St. Anthony's. They just absolutely burned Manhasset coming down the field.
And I know we keep finding new ways to describe it, but a testament to the talent of St. Anthony's. Brooke Long was the Catholic League Championship game MVP a year ago. We've said her name maybe once or twice so far this game. 46 points on the season, 23 goals. Their third leading scorer behind Kenny and Calabria, and this time she'll pass it out, allow St. Anthony's to burn a little clock, and until that shot clock is put in, teams are going to continue to take advantage of the lack of it.
I'm very excited to see a game like this with no shot clock.
I mean, you're going to have some high-scoring games, right?
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's, it adds a lot of excitement to the college game. It's just going to make the high school game better at this level. I think some teams will really struggle with it. I think once you get out of the power conference, it'll be tough for those conference 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, in Nassau at least, to really take advantage of that shot clock. But I think you're going to watch a team like St. Anthony's, Manhasset, Wantagh, Garden City, and without a shot clock, they're just going to be it's going to be crazy.
Low shot from Calabria. Cassiopo this time timed it up and eats it.
Read that all the way through, and Manhasset had great slides on that. Now, a great slide like that leads to a not great shot, which leads to a great save. And that's what they need more of. Manhasset definitely cleaned it up the second half. I'm excited to see the rest of the game. Another card, this time on Emma Speed.
And it was an excellent clear from Nicole Giannakopoulos. I mean, by herself, taking that ball up the field.
Yeah, and that was almost like a last resort check by Speed. She's going to want that one back.
You saw Tess Calabria pull it off earlier, and I think, ironically enough, misjudged the speed of Giannakopoulos. Thought she was going to get stick. Instead, she got ponytail.
Yeah. Manhasset has to take advantage of this man-up situation, though. I'd like to see them put in 2. They can score. They've scored 6 goals. It's only the third quarter. They can score. Fourth quarter. Sorry, it's the fourth quarter.
We're having too much fun here.
Yeah, we are.
Just wanted to keep going. A couple of fakes and.
I just want to miss bedtime routine.
There you go. You're like, if we can just stretch this another 45 minutes, I'm off for the night.
Yeah, that'd be great. Don't worry, Griffin. I'll be home.
You're like, let's get some overtime.
My son would not be happy with me.
All right, here we go. Holly Newman.
It's a big 8-meter here for Newman. I want to see her start to light it up a little bit. She's got to get more involved. It's a good look, though. Not a great hash.
Putting these in. Instead, we'll dump it off to Denahan. And an errant pass again, fortunately for Manhasset. Newman, right place, right time.
Oh, good take.
Yeah, Pacey almost had the steal. Lambert, how about that? Her second goal of the game comes in off the bench and starts cooking for Manhasset.
And now there's still 1:08 left on the penalty. They can put another 1-2 in. This is a great take. She gets the ball. It's an errant pass. Newman, great job backing it up. St. Anthony's gets a little too comfortable. She's down low. She's wide open. Well, she's not wide open, but she beats Pacey. She gets lucky there. Pacey just misses. Fakes high, shoots low. Look at that jump at the end. You see what that goal means to a kid like that.
I mean, a freshman, and you're going up against one of the best defenders in America, right?
Circle her. Say Duke commit. Player of the year. All-American.
Send that out everywhere.
Absolutely. Sorry, Pacey. You've been great all game, but she got you the best of you on that one, and that's when you really, those are the highlights. That will be the first highlight on her film.
That's how you get a UNC offer. You say, I can beat Duke. I have a
That's
proven track record.
That's how you get a Northwestern offer. Let's go at you. Right? Come on.
Hey, you have a player at North. You have Maddie Alimo at North Carolina, or even Grilly at North Carolina.
I've got a Grilly at Carolina. I've got Alimo at UVA.
Yeah, so you got to spread your loyalty.
Listen, I love them all. I love them all.
I don't know. I was hearing a little Maddie Taylor favoritism there.
It's not even Maddie Taylor. It's Scott Hiller's mom is a Long Beach resident. His parents live in Long Beach.
Oh, gotcha.
I get the Go Cats text from her come playoff season, so it makes it hard to root against them.
Right. You need more parents of coaches in the area.
Come on, she's like the cutest little lady.
Tess Calabria.
She's running out this penalty. There's 30 seconds left on it. St. Anthony's not in a rush to go to goal, up by 4 with 5 minutes left.
Here's Janet Binkus, and another player who, by her standards, relatively quiet day, has done a nice job on and off, though, on the draw. Binkus heading to play her college lacrosse also at USF.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that team come alive. I've got a couple players playing there next year. Nicole Baudo from Wantagh is going to, they're redshirting this year because they don't have a team. But you've got the Garden City coach's daughter, Amanda Ettinger, is going to be at USF.
Oh, wow.
Also. Yeah, she's
at Seaford, right?
Yep. So excited to see what they come up with. And now we're all even here. St. Anthony's able to kill the second minute of that penalty.
And Speed rushes back out onto the field.
Oh, good. See what you did there.
Yeah, I had a whole list, and I really haven't gotten to check them.
You had 2 minutes.
I might just at the end of the game just read them off. Yeah.
Yeah. All the speed. St. Anthony's still not in a rush to go to goal with 4 minutes left. Manhasset has really turned this game around the second half. It's a lot to be proud of, a lot to take from this game. Should this stay and St. Anthony's walk away with it, their youth has stepped up, and that's huge for them.
I mean, arguably on paper, maybe 3 of Manhasset's 4 top talents out for this game, and still sticking in it against the number 1 team in the country.
Oh,
That's really impressive. And Jackie Williams might not want to hear this, but perhaps the best coach game of her young career could ultimately come in a loss.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes you learn more from losses against a team that doesn't matter. This is a huge game for them going into playoffs. They can see that, okay, we can come back against a team like St. Anthony's with 3 of our best players out. We can come back against the Wantagh. We can come back against the Cold Spring Harbor, they won't play them in playoffs, but North Shore, South Side, who they lost to previously.
Again, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get through Nassau, though.
A lot of work to do. Right. You don't want to count Wantagh out.
No,
obviously.
you can't count. They lost to Southside earlier too. You can't count any of those C schools out. We always just say it's the gauntlet.
I was going to say, how do you take these? Obviously, you're divided by size for people. I'm sure everyone knows, but third smallest level of schools, and yet every single year, at least for the last 4 or 5, it has been a war to get out of Class
the
C.
C school, I think, in my humble opinion, is a gauntlet. You have when you look at the top 2 conferences, I think there's 12 teams out of 20 that are C schools.
Amazing, yeah.
And you look at everyone else is kind of peppered. Cold Spring Harbor is that D school. They play arguably not really any competition going through playoffs until they get to states.
Just Garden City and Long Beach and B, typically.
Garden City, Long Beach, and B. Southside and Manhasset both teeter between C and B, and lucky for me, all 4 years they were both in C.
There you go.
I always say Mackenzie Craig, who was the Southside goalie, was at Holy Cross, now playing for Bill Belichick's daughter.
Right.
She sent me into labor.
She was
with
at
my
a game,
son.
I think we had.
Yeah, she was. That was a great check by St. Gino's there. They're going to call offsides. They're saying she went over the line, but what a check by St. Gino's. She baited her attacker into thinking that she had her beat and just gave her a nice little stick check from behind. But they're saying that Manhasset was offside.
And that's a heartbreaker for Manhasset.
That is a heartbreaker. That's exactly what they needed. That was great defense. It's hard. When a team is stalling like this, you tend to fall asleep, and great job not falling asleep there.
Jenna Binkus, company playing keep away. Again, this will be out of the game next year. This is literally the last regular season game Manhasset will ever have to worry about it.
Can't wait for that.
And it's tough because it takes away what could be a thrilling finish here with Manhasset having some momentum. And if you're St. Anthony's, you win 1 draw control, and you have the ability with 3-4 minutes left to just say, all right, that's the ball game. And now Kenny will look for one more.
Save.
Cassiopo will catch it, and I'm sure Darcy Messina wasn't thrilled with Kenny taking that shot, given how successfully they were holding on to the ball.
I will tell you, though, there are some players who have green lights, and I'm sure Meg Kenny's one of them.
Yeah.
So she's probably not thrilled at the shot selection, but okay with the shot. Oh, I don't know what happened here that gave St. Anthony's the ball back.
I guess it ultimately doesn't matter. But can I ask you this as a coach in that situation? Let's just say a player, like one of your best players, one of your All-Americans, has an open look on the cage. Do you want them to shoot it up 4 goals, or do you say, hey, if we're successfully holding the ball, why even take a risk of creating multiple draw controls where the other team can win them?
I think when there's 2 minutes up and you've got a player like Meg Kenny with the ball, she definitely has a green light there, but not a great shot.
Yeah.
She was almost too open, I think, to be honest. I think she was like, oh, there's nobody on me. Sometimes it's harder to shoot when you're that open, when you're so used to having everybody has attention on you. Not a great shot, but they somehow got I missed. Did you see how they got the ball back?
I think it was a whistle. I'm not sure what the penalty was.
It's hard. You can't see. You can't exactly see from up here. You can't see the ref's hand motion, so we're missing a lot.
Rathjen, just a junior, but man, she's a bully.
Yeah.
She shakes people off. Yeah. And we mentioned that Summer League scoring 5 goals against Manhasset, so she is
not afraid.
No, definitely not. And then Tess Calabria, I mean, just an easy day at the office for a casual hat trick for one of Long Island's best.
You know, she barely. I feel like we didn't even say.
Every time she touched it, she scored, and she was like, "I don't really need it."
It's funny. I don't think another save by Cassiopo. Once again, that show-stopping save. She makes those like split saves.
And what a second half for Cassiopo. Only giving up 2 goals, maybe 3 or 4 different highlight reel saves.
Yeah, she doesn't need them, but she has them. 3 seconds left, though. This game's going to go to St. Anthony's. Good battle for the end by Manhasset, though. What a fight back.
And the Friars stay undefeated on the year, the #1 team in the country. What a tune-up for their playoff run. They'll have one more, and we'll have it for you, taking on Cold Spring Harbor, another one of the best teams on Long Island, one of the best teams in America. That'll be on Monday on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And they got a tough challenge from Manhasset today, as we have some hardware still to hand out, our Bowie 4 player of the game, but also our Speed Island play of the game and our breakout goaltending play of the game. So we're going to start off with our Speedy play of the game, brought to you by www.speedislandny.com. Let's take a look at what we got here. Our Speed Island Speedy play of the game.
Talked about her speed all day. She's like having a car out there. You know, Meg Kenny, she draws to the left. She has her defender on an island by herself. Comes back, a split dodge to the right. Just gets a step on her. Uses her speed and her quickness to get that shot off. What a rip by Kenny. 1 of 4 on the day for her.
And remember, you can improve your speed with Onyx Salva and team located in Garden City. Visit speedislandny.com to book your session today. Meg Kenny, I don't know if she could teach it, but maybe post-college, that's a work option for her.
I think that might be a little natural for her.
And now we are heading over to our next bit of hardware, our breakout goaltending save of the game from breakoutgoaltending.com. And there were a lot of great candidates.
We argued about this up here. This could have went to a lot of these saves. I mean, Hannah Rubin had great saves. Molly Zank had that diving save, but we're going to give it to Cassiopo here on that point blank first shot she saw in the day. An absolute inside shot. She just drops to her knees, gets that save off, eats it up, and that was really the catalyst that had Manhasset back in this game.
And man, Cassiopo, I think the word I would use is explosive to describe her. Just these powerful movements. And
quick, explosive goalie.
And we wanted to remind you the save of the game is brought to you by Breakout Goaltending Group, Long Island's longest-running goalie-exclusive training program, serving boys and girls elementary through college age all year round since 2004. Tim O'Meara is the co-founder and director. You can reach out at breakoutgoaltending.com, 877-GOAL-121. And we'll step aside here on Varsity Media. Come back with our Bowie 4 player of the game next.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Zadaro. Illico ties it up. By Diego steps up and score. A jump shot, Fennell.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Thank you for joining us back on Varsity Media from Manhasset High School. We're joined now by our player of the game, our Bowie 4 player of the game. It's Meg Kenny from St. Anthony's, the Bowie 4 post-game show brought to you by www.bowie4.com. Meg, really...
And that, someone had to step up to make the energy go for us, so I just felt that it was me, and I just took it and went for it.
All right, I want to go back to one play. I think it was your second or third goal. You had Lauren Perfetto guarding you, and we were talking up here in the midst of the play saying, oh, my God, she's playing incredible defense, right? Obviously, you're known for being incredibly fast, sticking right with you, and it almost seemed to me like you took that a little bit personally, and you're like, all right, I'm just going to keep throwing fakes until I get open. Can you take me inside that play, how you got free, how you finished there?
I mean, yeah, Lauren's a great defender, and I knew that I had to, make her move, so I kept, shaking her back and forth, and I knew once I got that little step on her, I had to rip it.
All right, and just we're going a little broader here, but you guys are undefeated now, 15-0, number one team in the country, new coach this year in Darcy Messina. What has that adjustment been? What has that adjustment been like? And as a senior, my partner in this broadcast, Robin, was talking a lot about how it's kind of on your senior leadership to make that transition and make it work and make sure nothing kind of gets left behind, nothing gets lost in translation. How have you done that with this great senior core you guys have?
I mean, we all know that we all want to win it this year and go undefeated, and we keep doing it, and we're going to keep doing it. We all have the thing last one, best one, and we always focus on the next game, not the 2 games we have. It's always the next one, and Darcy always makes sure that we're very prepared for everything that we want, and I think it's working out pretty well.
All right, one more regular season game for you guys against Cold Spring Harbor, and then the playoffs. What if anything are you guys still trying to emphasize down the stretch of the season as you have this pursuit of perfection here?
I mean, there's still stuff that we have to click, and we have to trust each other, and I think if we continue to do it the way we play today, we're going to end it on a good note.
All right, Meg Kenny, one of the great players on the number one team in the country, 4 goals today. Before we let you go, you get a Bowie 4 sweater. Just hold that up for us. We really appreciate it. So cool. It's been gone to some great players this year and some great performances. Just another one of them. Meg Kenny, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And that is going to wrap things up. Before we remind you to buoy up your wardrobe, get limited edition game day hoodie for 24 hours. If you want to rock it out like Meg Kenny, visit www.bowie4.com. So that'll do it for us here on Varsity Media for our entire exceptional team here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, fantastic technical director, Chris Sweeney, killing it as always on camera. The dream team today, Ron Pierre, he's a Knicks fan. Let's go Knicks. And Becca Kazak. I'm joined by Robin Rooney. Thank you so much for tuning in from Manhasset High School. That'll do it on the Varsity Media Sports Network.